All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Grant Winsauer, Jack Brody, and Michael Rapolo back here on the Bear Clockcast for a very exciting um, post game podcast. And sorry that we had to wait until Monday to do this, but if we did it earlier, I just thought that these guys would be a little bit too busy with it being Thanksgiving weekend and all that stuff. So I figured just wait until we normally do it. But let's get into this. So the Bears beat beat the Philadelphia Eagles 24-15 on Black Friday. And honestly, that was our most convincing win of this year. And we are 9-3 at the top of our division. And if the season ended today, we would be the number one seed. And honestly, with how good the team has been playing, and with us most likely getting, I hope, TJ Edwards back this week, because we signed Britton Brown to the practice squad and released a linebacker, so that has to mean at least one linebacker's coming back. I hope that's TJ. If it's Noah Sewell, great, I guess, but I really hope it's TJ. Our team is just getting fully healthy, and to be honest with you, we looked pretty good against the Eagles, which is very surprising to say because they are 8-4, but they were also 8-3. And I'm just gonna say this: everyone is still. Well, actually, Michael, I want to credit this to you before I say it. Michael, you pointed out before we started that everyone is still talking about how the Bears are frauds. Mm-hmm. If anything, the team that's a fraud is honestly the Eagles because they haven't been playing great. I'm
just going to say this. The Chiefs still have better odds to win the Super Bowl than the Bears. And they're 6-6.
That is insane. They have to win out
playoffs.
Yeah.
They have to win out. I mean, they play the Texans next week this week.
They still play Denver.
They still play the Chargers again.
Yeah.
So, okay. We were kind of going a little bit off topic there in terms of other teams, but I mean, the running game against this Eagles defense, which is a great defense, run by Vic Fangio, got torn to shreds. We ran for 285 yards on the Eagles, which is very impressive. And we stopped Saquon Barkley and held him to 56 rushing yards. Now, he is not as dangerous as he was last year, but he's still Saquon Barkley. So I was thoroughly impressed on Friday. But what about you guys? I'm going to go to Jack first, and then I'll go to Michael. What were your thoughts on Friday's win? I keep wanting to say Thursday.
I know. Weird having a game on Friday, but obviously the running game, you have to mention it. The Eagles have not been allowing, they bottled up Gibbs a couple weeks ago. We just saw the Eagles play the Packers and the Lions and beat them both, which is why I went into last week saying I don't think the Bears are going to win. But just super impressive. And I think my main takeaway is, for once, we get a game where we win pretty convincingly. The Eagles getting it to 9 was a garbage time score. But I still don't think we're playing our best football. There's still a lot of room for improvement. We might not run for 200 and whatever, 80 plus rush yards per game, but Caleb still had a pretty low completion percentage, even though I thought he played very well and obviously came through late with the touchdown to Kmet.
And that was a great throw, by the way. I love that throw.
Great throw. I just think there's a lot more room to grow. And the fact that we're the number one seed right now and we're not playing up to the standard that we even could be is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jack. Michael, why don't you go into this, and actually after Michael comments on what he thought he loved, I want to comment on what you just said, Jack, about the pass game, because I want to talk about that, because Ben Johnson did talk about that today in a press conference, but I want Michael to go first with his comments on the game.
Yeah, I mean, our offensive line created so many holes for Swift and Monungai, and that's a good Eagles run defense. They've been solid all year. And then, yeah, Caleb still has to play better, but he's playing good enough to where we can still win. So it's all right. But he's got to get that completion percentage up. He's got to. I don't know what else he could do, but he's just got to get that completion percentage up, and that's still, and he's at like what 53% completion, like really low. He's really low.
He's not making bad throws. He's just not completing the ones that he should. Like, it's not like he's putting the ball in harm's way.
Exactly. And there's been a bunch of drops too this season. So that's also a big factor. And then so he can play up to like 63, 64% completion percentage the remainder of the year. This team is dangerous. And then our defense, Nashawn Wright, dog, he stopped the tush push. I didn't know that was possible.
And no one knew that was possible. No one knew it was possible.
No.
Yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau almost had it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
They blew it dead.
I had no idea that was possible, so that was sick. And then that was the turning point of the game, basically. Yeah, I know right after Caleb threw the pick, but then
that one wasn't on him.
I personally think that play call was bad. That was a bad play call, in my opinion. It was 2nd and 1, and we throw a screen pass.
And Caleb's just like, he's not the tallest quarterback in the world. Like, he does struggle with getting the ball batted on those screens sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I much more like seeing him throw those little sidearm screens out to the outside like he did later in the game.
Yeah.
And getting those out there quick where you don't have the defensive lineman right there. But running back screens are a little bit perilous for us recently.
Yeah, they're a little tougher because Caleb's only, what, 6'1", 6 foot?
Yeah, and that's what he's listed at. So.
6'1", yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So
I mean,
that's my takeaway.
And like Jack said, I mean, if it's really if he's 6'1", I think he's like 6 foot and.
Honestly, when I was at the preseason, he looks the same height as me, and I'm 5'11", so.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say, you kind of alluded to it, Michael, with the completion percentage, because you mentioned that a lot of it has been on drops. Actually, I saw a tweet earlier today. If you take the drop, if the drops did not happen, he would actually be around 65%.
Yeah, and that's good. Like, for us, that's good completion percentage. It's not great, but it's good enough to win football games.
But what I also wanted to say was, I mentioned that Ben Johnson was asked about the completion percentage in a press conference today, and he said what you said, that we're winning, but we're going to fix it. And I want to allude this back to, back when before the bye, everyone was talking about the run game, and Ben Johnson talked about it, and he said they're going to fix it. And look at it now; it's running, very smoothly. So I do believe that it will get fixed, and over these next few weeks, we will see a different completion percentage out of Caleb. And but you've also alluded to it, Michael, about with the comparisons to Josh Allen, or even Drew Brees took a couple years to get into the high 60s for completion percentage.
It took Drew Brees an injury to get into the high 60s.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the one thing that we got to also people need to realize is the Bears offense, like the Bears passing offense, is still explosive, even if the completion percentage isn't there. Like, there's still a couple plays each and every game that Caleb's making downfield that even though the completion percentage doesn't end up there, like those chunk plays matter just as much as that, whether you get it in one play or whether you get it in 6 consecutive plays where you get 5 yards. So,
yes, and I completely agree with both of you on this. So, next topic is more of a fun topic. I mean, everyone is talking about how the Bears are still, not a great football team. What is it going to take for people to stop making, posts about us being a fraudulent football team or just a luck of the draw type of football team? I mean, in my personal opinion, I think people will start to respect them if we beat the Packers, which I'm gonna say it. I think we can do it both times. I think we can beat them both times because me and Michael are part of a podcast network where we had to do uh, before season projections or bold takes.
predictions. Yeah.
Bold predictions. I'm sorry. And I could have gone another way and done, bold predictions for a division or for a for another team, but the Bears fan in me just went with the Bears, and I said that I made 3 bold predictions. I made the boldest one I said was that the Bears will beat the Packers twice, so both times, and then I also said that the Bears or Ben Johnson will win Coach of the Year, and that we will go 11-6. And to be honest with you, honestly, now looking back at it, none of those things seem that bold because the Bears are 9-3 right now. To get to 11-6, they'd have to win 2 more. And if I'm being completely honest, I totally believe that we can at least win 4 more. Uh, I mean,
Yeah.
the ones that scare me, if I'm being honest with you, I can't believe I'm saying this, are Cleveland. And it's not because of their offense. It's because of Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett has had like at least 2 sacks every game this year. And fun fact, he actually has a goal of getting 25 sacks in a year. And
he hasn't played Caleb yet. It's fine.
Yeah, he's not gonna get one on Caleb, unfortunately.
I'm still scared because it's Myles Garrett, but I believe you guys. But and then I also said that Ben Johnson would win Coach of the Year, which we will go into a little bit later in the podcast because I think that deserves its own topic or banner. So the Bears are legit, and what do you guys think it's going to take for the Bears to actually get their respect per se? Jack, why don't you go first, and then I'll go to Michael.
Unfortunately, I don't think anything we do, like outside of winning out the rest of the way and winning by 30 points a game, will get people outside of Bears fans to believe in the Bears. It's just been a long history of the Bears not really living up to expectations.
That's a fair
And
point.
I can't really fault people for it, but also just like today's culture of like how people like enjoy sports. Anybody who doesn't win the Super Bowl or win by 30 points every game is a fraud. So I don't think anything like we could beat the Packers by 30 this week, and like all the sports media would talk about is, oh, the Bears are legit. But if we went to Cleveland and we lost by like a last second field goal like Green Bay did earlier this year, it'd be right back to the Bears are frauds. The Bears have no chance in the playoffs. Like, so I just think I think the main thing to focus on is what the header says, and that is that the Bears are legit. And that we may feel better or worse about that on a given week, but we're 13 weeks into this, 13 weeks, 12 games into the season now. And the Bears are a good football team, and that is very fun. And I have to ask you, so if the Bears and Packers, like even if the Bears lose one of these 2 games and they match up in the playoffs and the Bears beat them in the playoffs, will you count that as a win for your bold prediction of the Bears beating the Packers twice?
Well, see, that's not really like the bold
I would
predictions.
count it.
The bold predictions don't really matter. It's just for people to,
But
to
like, yeah, but like for you, would you count that? Because I would.
I would.
Playoffs always seem harder than in season, so I would definitely count that for sure. I would count that for sure.
Well,
But the
hopefully we
thing,
beat them 3 times and you get some
the
bonus
thing
points.
is, the thing is, I mean, I mean, now, in my personal opinion, people are saying that the NFC North is this division juggernaut, which it is. But I gotta say, I really only think that there are two, great teams in that division, and those teams are the Bears and the Packers,
I,
because the
I'm gonna
Lions.
say something. The Lions are still legit. They're just playing bad football right now. That's
Yeah,
all
Yeah,
it
they
is.
and
are. They are
look,
They're
legit.
still a
for us, they have a
juggernaut
hard
team.
schedule coming up.
Yeah.
They are the Lions are legit. It's just they haven't looked as clean as they
Yeah.
used to, is what I was saying. But Michael, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah. So I just want people to know this. The Bears had the second hardest schedule going into this year.
Yeah,
And this is the whole thing. What people are saying is that our schedule is way too easy going up to this point, but we had the second hardest schedule going
you
into
want to
this year.
talk about an easy schedule?
The
Look at the
Patriots.
Patriots schedule.
Yeah,
That
how are we supposed to know Lamar's gonna get hurt, Burrow's gonna be hurt, and we play those two teams.
J
Like
who would
JJ's
yeah,
gonna be terrible. Like all these teams were 9+, 10+ win teams last year. So yeah, it's
like
ridiculous.
the only ones that we knew weren't going to be good going into the season were the Saints,
The Titans.
Vegas,
Giants.
and Giants on our schedule, Grant.
Oh, on our schedule. Okay, I'm sorry.
Those were the only three we knew weren't going to be good,
That's fair. That's
and we
fair.
beat them. We beat them, so
May have been last second, but we still beat them.
we still beat them. I people just got to remember that we had the second hardest schedule after the Lions.
Hmm.
That's what people forget, and then they're going off of their records this year. Yeah, they're not playing good football, but they were still a playoff team last year.
Yeah, the
So
season's also not done. Like people can turn
exactly,
it around. Like look at how that Dallas win is aged for us. Like that was like, oh, we beat Dallas, whatever. Now it's like, wow,
We
beat
beat
Dallas by 2
Dallas.
scores at home. Like they've now beaten the Chiefs and the Eagles back-to-back weeks at home. Like they're a good football team.
Yeah,
and tied the Packers. So
Yeah.
yeah. So next topic, I think that we're just gonna start doing this because whenever we get a win, there's always just quality performers in the game, and rightfully so. There should be when your team wins. But for me, and I think both of you will agree with me, my standouts are DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monangai, the offensive line, and Nashawn Wright. And nope, I have to throw Kevin Byard in there. I almost forgot Kevin Byard, but those are like my 5 standouts. And it was kind of good because there was 3 on offense, 2 on defense. You kind of want it to be, you know, uh, you want it to be equal on both sides of the ball when you have a win, for your standout players. And I mean, Kevin Byard, I hope that we extend him because he definitely deserves it. I mean, the thing is, how much money is he going to ask for? Because because there's 5 games left, and he's at 6 interceptions, I
yeah,
think. And he honestly, I'm going to say it, should have 7 because Nashawn Wright did bang into him when he was literally catching one a couple weeks ago. But that's not his. Well, I mean, it is his fault, but it's not. It's not that big of a deal. But so he's leading the league with 6 interceptions. Nashawn Wright is right behind him with 5. And he stopped the tush push this week, which we have all alluded to that we thought was impossible. But Nashawn Wright is like, I can make this possible. I just need a chance. and he got that chance. But on offense, the offensive line was great with all the blocks that they made for Kamanungai and DeAndre Swift, who both had 100. So Swift had 125 yards and a touchdown, and Manungai had 130 and a touchdown. Man, I am literally so curious to see how the rest of this season goes for both of them, because DeAndre Swift is only 226 yards away from 1,000, and I think he can get there. It's just dependent on having good games against good teams, and he proved that he could have a good game against the Eagles. So I think he can totally do it. And then Manungai, for a 7th round rookie, looks like he's a 1st round draft pick. Honestly, I mean, okay, that may be a little bit of a stretch. I'm sorry, but he's looking great for his, finally carving out his role as the RB2 in this offense. And the offensive line, thank you, Ryan Poles, for finally investing in it, because it looks so much better with this offensive line. But Michael, who are your standouts? And then we'll go to Jack.
Yeah, I have the same standouts as you. It's just I have 2 more. Austin Booker.
Really?
Austin Booker, for our only tackle for loss, he looked very good in that game. At least I thought he did. I think Grady Jarrett. I actually liked what Grady Jarrett did up front and how he was like kind of holding Saquon to run outside instead of going inside. That's at least what I thought. And then obviously that's also with Billings too. I love that guy. That guy cracks me up every time I see him. And then I just wanted to shout out Jalen Johnson. He didn't look the greatest. He didn't look like his all-pro Jalen Johnson, but that's also coming back from, 10 weeks off? 11 weeks off?
Yeah.
So, but that's all I got, really. Jalen Johnson looked decent. He'll get it back. He's his first game back, but
just give him another game or two, something like that. But what about you, Jack? Who are your standouts?
Yeah, not a player. I know it says standout players, but I feel like we've mentioned so many guys already. I just want to shout out Ben Johnson again. It would have been very as the offensive play caller and the head coach. I know how much that he wants to throw the ball. Probably that's where you get a lot of your explosive plays from. He has Caleb Williams. You could see early on in the second half, they'd get a huge gain on 1st down. They kind of throw the ball a couple times, stall out, and then something changed after it got to the 10-9 score, and he was just screw it, I'm just going to run the ball every single time. And I think all Bears fans watching the game were screaming at the TV to do that. So it's nice to have a coach who actually realizes the obvious while in a game and can make an adjustment. And it's just such a refreshing thing to watch after having to deal with Eberflus for the last 3 years before this.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
and then Nagy right before that.
Yeah, just common sense wins out a lot of the time, and we have a coach who's smart enough to realize that.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you hit it right on the nail. I mean, this is a league where you have to make second half adjustments, and there are teams out there that have won for so long that they're like, oh, I'll figure it out, but I'm not flipping the script. But if it's not working, you have to. And Ben Johnson understands that. There are a lot of coaches in this league that are like, oh well, I'm Andy Reid, I'm Sean McVay, or I'm wow, that's literally the list. Ben Johnson, Sean McVay, and Andy Reid, for actually changing their game plan, which I am so happy that we actually have a coach that'll do that, because just because it worked in your previous regime, wherever you were, whether you were a OC, DC, just because it worked there doesn't mean it's going to work with this personnel that you have in your new team. So I'm very happy that Ben Johnson realizes when something isn't working and fixes it, because we haven't had a coach that does that. But this one is more, the next topic that we're going to talk about is more of just a given at this point. But I do have to bring up a couple of points here. So Mike Vrabel is probably going to win Coach of the Year, but Bears fans will want it to be Ben Johnson, and he still has the second best odds to win it. But here's the thing: I think Ben Johnson deserves it a little bit more, and it's because of a couple of reasons. One, I personally think that Ben Johnson did inherit the worst roster between the Bears and the Patriots, because Mike Vrabel has been with the Patriots as a coach and as a player, so he knows what's there. But also, Mike Vrabel and the Patriots have the easiest schedule. We have the toughest, and we're still winning. And I'm gonna say this: I'm not gonna be mad if Mike Vrabel wins Coach of the Year, because he does deserve it. It's just, I think that Ben Johnson deserves it a little bit more. But Michael, what are your thoughts on this? And then I'll go to Jack.
Yeah, we alluded to this in our network. So with this is it's gonna be who has the better record. That's what it's gonna come down to.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna come down to between the Patriots and the Bears who has the better record. And if we somehow and I'm gonna go off of kind of opposite of what I said. If we win 3 of these next 5 games, Ben Johnson's Coach of the Year. And that's even if the Patriots win out, even including today, as we record this on Monday.
Yes, because the Patriots play the Giants at 7:20 tonight.
Yeah, I
And
think I'm gonna say this: if the Bears finish 13-4, right? 13-4.
Yeah.
13,
Yeah.
yes.
If we finish 13-4 and the Patriots finish what, they got 2 losses right now.
Yeah, so 15-2.
Yeah, if they finish 15-2, I think Ben Johnson wins it. Just because that's a completely different outcome. Like, we all could have saw the Patriots kind of with their schedule and stuff like that they were going to win games. We obviously didn't think they would win
This many.
over 12, but
They're
still.
most likely going to.
I also think that they're just a little susceptible coming up here. Like, they're playing a little bit of a tougher schedule coming up here. They play the Bills, they play the Dolphins again, who look a lot better the last week of the year. And Will Campbell's out now for at least 4 weeks.
That's true. That's true.
Like, I think tonight's a really interesting spot. Like, for the Giants, potentially, they've been playing a lot better. Dart's healthy again. Like, I would not be surprised. What's up?
Well, I mean, yes, he's healthy, but like, how healthy?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see when he gets out there. But even if he gets if he gets hurt again, Jameis Winston is the most fun backup quarterback in the league. So I could definitely see them losing tonight. And I think if they lose tonight, we wake up tomorrow and Ben Johnson's the odds-on favorite for Coach of the Year.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. I mean, I have a cousin who's a Patriots fan, so he wants, every Patriots player to get every single award, I will say this. I mean, if there is, um if offensive player of the year doesn't go to Jonathan Taylor, which I think it will. I think it will. I would give Offensive Player of the Year to Drake May because he's playing great this year. He's got a 71% completion percentage, over 3,000
3,500 yards.
yards. And
Yeah, I mean, Smith and Jigba really had a dud this week too. Like he was another guy who was right
he
up
only
there.
had one catch, right?
2 catches for 24 yards.
Jeez.
His worst game prior to that was 5 for 79.
Jeez, that's bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, but like we all said, this Coach of the Year award is going to come down to Mike Vrabel or Ben Johnson. I mean, and
There's
both of them
really
are
no one close to it.
both of them are deserving, absolutely. But like always, we have to always end on who received game balls and the Ben Johnson speech. And I'm gonna say it. This Ben Johnson speech might honestly be my favorite.
This is
so
my
far.
favorite by far.
And if there are any younger children watching this, there might be a part of this where you might have to turn this off just because a shirt does come off. It's not inappropriate, but just a warning. But let's get that speech up here. All right, I gotta turn on the sound.
You do it. You played your best, man. Man, I'm so proud of you guys. We took a short week. You took no shortcuts. We talked about the team that made more mistakes is going to lose that game. You guys didn't do it. You played your best ball for 60 minutes. Well done. Well done. Well done. All right, hey, there's a number of performances here that we got to talk about, but I'm only going to give out 2 game balls right now, all right? Give me the first one. Listen, this guy really should have had it for the last 3 weeks, and I've been wrong. I've been wrong, all right? But Shawnee, who talk about turning the game? Playing good football.
Man, I appreciate all y'all. The organization, polls, everybody that allowed me to come here and do what I do best. And I appreciate y'all. I love y'all.
You're a ball player, boy! Ball player!
And like KB said, this only matter from this point forward, so let's keep it going.
Keep going. Man, we got a couple backs that ran their asses off today. But let me tell you something. It does not get done without this offensive line.
Yeah, man. We're trying to put it on our back. That's how we want it. Hey. Let's enjoy this one, man. Let's get ready for Green Bay. Let's do it. Hold on.
I know you guys are hungry for more, right? It's him. Let me tell you something. The city of Chicago is hungry too. Good better, man! Never let it run! It's gonna get better! It better get better! Bears on 3, 1, 2, 3!
Well, I'm just gonna say it. Ben Johnson is a man of the people because because the last time that he referenced that the city of Chicago is hungry for multiple reasons, but it was because the hot dog place that tweeted out that tweet that said, if Caleb Williams throws for 4 touchdowns, we'll give away free hot dogs. That same hot dog place eventually tweeted out, if Ben Johnson takes off his shirt for any post game speech, we will give away free hot dogs again. And Ben Johnson was actually asked about doing it earlier in the season, and he actually kind of brushed it off. He's like, "Why would you guys want to see that?" But he did it on Friday, still wanting to say Thursday. And it's the next week. I'm never used to seeing football on Friday, except in high school. But like, I mean, also I'm gonna say this. I said at the beginning of the season when we started seeing these speeches that eventually Ben Johnson would start to lose his voice. I'm gonna say it. I think he's starting to lose his voice a little bit because it didn't sound as loud this week, but he's still pumped to give him every time, and they will never get old. I can't honestly. I'm excited to see when the Bears win the Super Bowl and see how that post game speech goes, because that's going to be some post game speech.
I'm just gonna say this: if the Bears are in the Super Bowl, my eyes will probably be closed 90% of the time.
All I have to say is, as an Illinois football fan for college, I really hope that Brett Bielema does not take any inspiration from Ben Johnson. I do not need to see that man with his shirt off after Illinois wins a game.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there. If it happens, I will not watch it. I will not watch it. That's the simplest way to make sure that I don't get traumatized. But I mean, man, I can't stop watching those, those post game speeches. I mean, after every win, I literally go to Twitter after every win and just refreshing Twitter until the post comes up. And usually it's a couple of hours before or after the game until the post is posted. But like, when I see that post, I'm like, I just breathe a sigh of like relief and happiness for this team, because finally we have a coach that is gonna get us wins and gonna get the best out of his players no matter what. And it's just so refreshing. But like, I mean, Michael, what are your thoughts on this speech? And then we'll end on Jack.
Yeah, I love how he gave the game balls to the O line and not one to Swift and one to Monungai, because I think both
But he
of them
did shout
already
them
have
out.
a game ball.
He
He
did
did
shout
shout
them
them out, but I'm pretty sure both of them already have a game ball this year, if I'm not
Sure.
mistaken. So giving them
I
to the
think
O
you're right.
line, great. And Deshaun Wright deserves that, man. Taking away that tush push, crazy. But that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on there. But what about you, Jack? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think Michael's dead on. I got really no more notes. I feel like we've pretty much talked about everything that is to be talked about, but all great stuff. So I just hope we get to talk about more fun stuff next week when we're reviewing the Packers game.
Yeah, I hope
And
so
when
too.
we hear the speech,
But actually, there you mentioned that Deshaun Wright got a game ball on it, and I didn't put this in as a topic, but I mean, with how he's playing, he's gonna get starter money somewhere. I don't know if it's gonna be with the Bears, because we do have limited amount of cap space. I don't know the exact number, which it feels great for me to say that I don't know the exact number right now, because it felt like a year ago, me and Jack, when we started this, we were already on mock drafts. We were already looking at free agents. We were already looking at who we could target. And it feels so good to not have to know that right now because of our record. But like, I just have this feeling that Sean Wright is going to want starter money. And God. I mean, if I had to guess, he's on a $3 million 1-year contract right now. He's going to want at least double that with how he's been playing for a couple of years. I just don't know if we could necessarily give him that with the limited amount of cap space that we have and what areas we need to improve. But what are your guys' thoughts on that? And then we'll end on that. Michael, why don't you go first, and then we'll end on Jack.
Yeah, I mean, I like Marshawn Wright. Don't get me wrong, but I said this on another thing I said on our show. I said I think he's better than Tyreek Stevenson, and Tyreek Stevenson plays good. Don't get me wrong, but I like Marshawn Wright better than Tyreek Stevenson. But whichever one we keep out of those two, I'm happy with. I can really care less. But
Okay.
I would also if he wants $6 million a year, do it. If that's what it takes.
I mean, I think that's the lowest he'll ask for. Honestly, I'm not sure what the highest he'll ask
if
for.
it's like 6 to 8 mil, I would do it. If it's anything above that, I wouldn't.
All right, what about you, Jack? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's all just going to come down to what that cap number ends up being. And like you mentioned, I have no idea what that is right now. Guys are always restructuring deals. We can always address holes in the draft. So I really just think it comes down to once the season ends, the Bears are going to sit down and take a look at how can we fill this out as financially responsibly as we can without overextending themselves. And while Sean Wright's been great, they did find him for very cheap this year. There's options in the draft every year that also come for cheap and other free agents. So if the Bears don't deem it necessary to re-sign him, I'm not going to fault them for that because I think it should just be looked at as a great 1-year signing. And if he comes back, I'll be very happy. But if not, he's been a great Bear for the season at least.
Yeah.
Agreed. And if he stays, great. If he goes somewhere else, I wish him all the luck in the world. But that's going to be it for us. We will see you guys next Saturday to preview one of the biggest games of the year, and that is the Bears versus Packers. And I pray to God we just shit on them.
Actually, I think this is the biggest game of the year for us because it's at Lambeau.
Yeah.
This is at
When
Lambeau.
it's at Lambeau.
Actually, I saw this earlier today, and then we'll end on this. Neither Caleb Williams or Ben Johnson have lost in Lambeau. So, can they keep the streak alive? And I believe they will. So we will see you guys on Saturday for the biggest podcast of the year, probably. So have a good week, everybody, and good night.